Chapter 28.
Who is it?
Another man's voice inquires.
Not sure yet, but she was sneaking around, so I figure no matter what, someone just volunteered for our experiment.
His laugh makes my stomach turn. He whips me around and yanks the hood off my head. My eyes slowly adjust to the light, but when they do, bile rises in my throat. The peculiar man all in gray. You, I choke out.
You?
He mocks with a smirk on his face, followed by his stomach turning.
You guys met before, boss?
I look over to see a new man, plump with broad shoulders and large arm muscles. He's the one that grabbed me. He seems close to Gavin's age with reddish blonde hair and deep-set black eyes. I recognize his voice. These are the two men I heard speaking by the steel building the first time.
We ran into each other once. She was hanging around by the gardens.
The gray man states, his eyes locked on me in the same creepy stare as the first day we met.
I knew you were up to no good. And then, no doubt, a few days later you're getting thrown into the chamber. Is this one that got away?
The younger one asks.
Yep. The big deal one that got the board all crazed by rebelling during the last ceremony.
He turns back to me.
You really screwed up a lot here. No respect for our plans, huh?
He's sneering and leaning up against a metal desk layered with tools. He notices my eyes wandering over the equipment.
We gotta design a new chamber since it turns out the old ones had suspicious holes. Some prisoners found a way out. You wouldn't know anything about that, would you?
My lips form a thin line and I attempt to look unintimidated, despite my rapidly beating heart and the sweat forming on my back. My eyes feverishly search for a way to get out of here. The tools were my first hope, but he's blocking those.
Well, no answer means you're offering yourself as our guinea pig. They never talk either, but they can squeal when the pain gets too intense. I'm assuming you can, too.
The younger one sniggers like all the evil in the world has been bottled up and released in the air that escapes his lips.
You want me to notify them that we got her?
The older man rubs his chin.
Nah, we'll pull double duty here. We'll report on the status of how the new machine works while turning her over in whatever condition she ends up in.
The younger one grins and scrubs his hands like he's preparing for surgery.
Yeah, let's do that.
He takes my arm, almost ripping it out of the socket as he drags me, the concrete floor scratching and nipping at my skin. He pulls me to the corner where a clear glass box sits. It's exactly like the one I was in, except shorter in height. My stomach lurches at the sight. The torture memories come flooding back as involuntary tremors wreck my body. Inside, thick ropes hanging from the edges look like twisted snakes ready to strike. A head strap dangles from one side. No! I yell, brutally kicking the crotch of the younger man. He lets go of me to instinctively grab himself. I turn, pick my body off the floor, and sprint to the door. The older man swings a pipe at my calf. Ah! I shriek, falling to the floor, landing on my stomach with a loud thud. My chin burns from scraping the floor while my leg throbs in ruthless pain. There's blood coming from somewhere on my face or mouth as it drips below me. The younger man grabs both of my legs and drags me back to the corner. Sliding on my stomach, the floor rubs my skin raw as I claw at the concrete and anything nearby to resist. I try to kick, but it hurts too much, and with each attempt I let out a cry.
Sounds like she's still off remedy,
the younger one observes bitterly. Together, they flip me over, pick me up, and brutishly drop me in the box. They tie my wrists behind me and my legs in front of me, bent at such an uncomfortable angle that my feet are just inches from my butt.
"Tell you what,"
the older man says, breathing a mix of tobacco and chili into my face.
"We won't use you as a guinea pig if you tell us how you escaped out of the last box, and admit where you've been hiding since."
I glare at him. He takes me for a weak person. I spit in his face as my response. I will not give away any details about Gavin or Rebirth. Impetus can do whatever they want to me. My pain or death is worth it to protect everyone else. The man pulls back, wiping my spit from his face with his sleeve.
"Maybe we'll just keep you for our own toy then. You can be the one we test every new punishment tool on."
I can't prevent the horror from showing on my face. The older one grabs my hair and pulls my head back so roughly that I'm sure my neck will snap. He slides the headpiece over my face and adjusts the strap to tighten it. My neck strains so far back that the ceiling lights blind me. He makes one more adjustment to the strap that leaves my mouth partially open. I can't move. Every muscle tenses, magnifying the pain. "Shh," he coos in a voice that sounds straight from an immoral world, dripping in thick, evil blood. The younger man snickers as they lift a heavy black top and secure it to the box. The light is replaced by total darkness. Locks clicking and squeaky faucet noises hauntingly interrupt the momentary silence. The sound of rushing water soon follows.
"Do you enjoy baths?"
the man asks in a sickly sweet way. "Let me go," I struggle to say with my mouth forced open. As soon as I speak, water downpours from the top of the box, running over my head and into my mouth. I choke on the water, spitting out what I can from a horizontal position, but more continues to fall. I can't move. I can't do anything except let the water drown me.
"Here's a tip," he utters. "Every time you make a noise, drip, 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 the water comes down. Every time you scream or moan, drip, 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 the water will trigger. The box isn't that deep. Have fun."
Reflexively, as fear floods me, I squirm to get out of the ropes, yelping from the pain and the panic. As he warned, the moment sound escapes my mouth, water pours down like a powerful hose over my face. This time, I try drinking the water to beat the drowning, but it's too much, and I gag. The men sit by the side of the box, watching me, challenging each other to get me to make another noise. The only positive aspect about the enclosed chamber is they can't touch me. Instead, they are left with feeble, juvenile efforts like sneezing and yawning as though it will activate the same reaction in me.
"Or we can just do this,"
one of them suggests. The shrill of the faucet signals the release of water. I cough violently as water shoots up my nose and down my throat. I can hear them laughing in the background amidst my suffering. The faucet squeaks again as the water stops. I can't see. My eyes sting.
"But what fun is that?"
They laugh in wicked unison.
"Let's get some food. I'm hungry,"
the younger one suddenly interjects, already appearing bored. The older man hesitates, but then says,
"Yeah, okay. She won't go anywhere with those straps now. Just remember,"
he warns while pressing his face against the box,
"the water fills the box, or it doesn't. You choose. Our preference is you would extend the torture so we can watch. But if you drown while we're gone, we'll enjoy that too."
Snorts erupt from both of them. A part of me wants to beg them to stay. Being alone is somehow worse. The straps are digging into my skin. My neck is pulled so far back I'm more worried about my circulation cutting off than drowning. I can't get out of this alone. As their footsteps fade, the terror inside rises. Suddenly a commotion replaces their steps, shouting from a congregation of voices. Bangs echo as though the room is falling apart. I try to turn my head, but the straps are too tight, and I moan out in pain. The water chokes me. Through the blur, the outline of a face appears. At first I think it's one of them, coming back to laugh at my struggles. The water stops long enough for me to see. It's Gavin. "Gavin," I mumble, the flow of water fast on the heels of my words. He's pounding on the faucet with a wrench, trying to get the water to stop. When his efforts fail, he slings his efforts to the box, wildly searching for the latches with frantic hands. He grabs a pipe, slamming it against the locks. One breaks, allowing enough space for him to forcefully shove off the top. My body heaves and vomits water while he undoes the headstrap, using his hand to support my neck. He slashes the ropes with a knife, freeing my hands first, then my feet. He pulls me out of the box and straight into his arms. Gavin puts his hands on my face, his eyes searching every mark of my skin. "Are you okay?" Shivering, coughing, and drenched, I nod. He hugs me once more, my wet body leaving a print on him, and says, "We have to get out of here immediately." Grabbing my hand, he pulls me across the room. I bite my tongue to prevent from screaming out over the pain of my calf. The younger man is on the floor, his arm bent with a bone extended to the ceiling. His nose is pushed to the side, obviously broken with blood streaking his face. The older man lifelessly stretches over a desk with a slash in his side and blood steadily dripping into a pool on the floor. Gavin pushes through the tin door. The cool air washes over me. I'm sucking it down, letting my body recognize something else other than water is being breathed in. "This way," he orders, but we head in the opposite direction of the normal route. Gavin bends down at the waist as he runs, peering through the thickets in a hunt for an available opening we can slide through. Further in the distance, a light blinks through the thickets. Instantly, I realize that's what he's looking for. "Gavin," I whisper, pointing to the light. As soon as Gavin acknowledges it, thunder cracks across the sky. I look up, but it's a perfectly clear night. Then I realize it's coming from behind us. It's not thunder, but gunshots. Gavin has already made the connection and immediately swings the arm that's holding my hand forward, which propels me ahead of him. "Get to the light! Now! Don't stop!" he screams out. I keep running but look over my shoulder to see Gavin stopped in the middle of the path. He has a black gun held out in front of him as he's walking backward, rapidly shooting at a dark figure that's headed his way. The figure is moving fast despite a noticeable limp, and the night lights up like fireworks as he fires his weapon too. I fall to the ground in an automatic reaction to the spray of bullets around me. A new figure appears from the edge of the maintenance building, as though waiting for this exact moment, only inches from Gavin. "Gavin, behind you!" I shout, standing up, ready to run to him and protect him, and serendipitously knowing we've been here before. Except for this time, the train that runs Gavin over and over in my nightmares is replaced by Mr. Frank. Once I realize it's Mr. Frank, my natural response is that of relief. This man who I admired over the years, always smiling and so kind, the one who always kept my secrets safe and protected me from the Elders' Board when he could have handed me over. Mr. Frank will save us. He knows Impetus. He will help us get out of here and into a safe place. Even with his arched back, Mr. Frank stands 3 inches above Gavin. In his left hand is the black, curved steel frame of a machete. As Gavin turns around, I watch, horrified, as Mr. Frank brings the machete down violently, a sickening thud reflecting off of Gavin. Before the expression on Gavin's face can change, his body crumples to the ground, and his head bounces off the dirt. It comes to rest with the back of it barely touching the edge of Mr. Frank's shoes. I drop to my knees. A loud sob escapes my lips. Mr. Frank hears me, and as he turns around with his machete lifted high, shots blaze over my head and into his body. Bullet holes puncture his skin. Bright sprays of crimson fill the air. Mr. Frank falls backward on Gavin's body, puddles of blood joining together. "Gavin," I whimper. "Gavin, move. Move, please. Move," I plead. But there's no response from Gavin's motionless body.